Hello, friends. This is Pastor Christopher Maronde, the director of the Lutheran Institute of Regenerative Agriculture. And today I took the drive down the road, about a 30-minute drive, down into Missouri to Tarkio, Missouri. And I'm on the campus of our partner, Tarkio Tech. We are on the campus in one of the classrooms here, talking about this partner. That way, you saw our video hopefully a few weeks ago where we talked to President John Davis, who is the president of this school. And as we continue to develop this partnership and continue to talk about the opportunities that we can provide to our LYRA students through Tarkio Tech, we came down here to interview another individual from Tarkio Tech. So it's my great joy to be sitting in the classroom, in the office with Lane Seymour, who is the director of the new business program here at Tarkio Tech. And I'll let him talk all about that here in a few moments. Lane, how about you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, Pastor Maronde, thank you. I'm a local. I live just a few miles down the road in Fairfax, Missouri, same county as Tarkio. We're in the northwestmost county of Missouri, which puts us right up against Iowa, so we really are neighbors. And for corn and soybean farmers like myself, we're glad to have soil here, much like they have in Iowa, instead of some of the rocky soil down in southern Missouri. But I'm a sixth generation person that's lived in this area, but I have been around other places. After about 10 years in college and the Navy, I moved my family back to my hometown to raise our three girls. My wife homeschooled them, and then was in business. Our family had a farm implement dealership, so I was in that business for a number of years, and then also started a equipment rental and leasing company, and that went for a number of years too. And then I transitioned from that into business consulting for a number of years, and was, as I joked with friends in this area, was enjoying a nice quiet retirement. And then Johnny Davis showed up and invited me to consider a business program that he was wanting to implement here at Tarkio Tech. So that was a little less than a year ago, and we'll be talking more about that, but that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, well, tell us about this place that we're at, this Tarkio Tech. I know hopefully a number of you have seen the video where we interviewed President Davis and heard a little bit about the background of the school and history of it. So you can watch that video to get a lot more detail about Tarkio Tech. But for those who haven't seen that video yet, or don't know a lot about Tarkio Tech, how would you describe in just a couple of minutes what we're doing here, what you guys are building here in Tarkio, Missouri?
Well, we really are trying to catch the wave of a move in secondary education into technical and trade education. We're on the campus of the former Tarkio College, and that board, there's a Tarkio College board, decided they wanted to have a tech school on the campus. And it's doing a couple of things. It's offering more than 6 different tech programs for area students. And through the efforts of the staff at Tarkio Tech, they are resurrecting part of the campus. So there's been some significant renovation in the major buildings on the campus, with plans to do more. So we're kind of doing 2 big things. We are offering a trade school education, and we're also going to be able to soon offer housing for residential students. So in addition to that education, the campus itself is being brought back to life, and that's a big plus for the area.
Yeah, it really has to be wonderful and uplifting to the folks here in Tarkio to see this campus start to get new life. I'm sure that's a really encouraging thing. And I said before in the last interview, I've said this several times to President Davis, that there's a kinship I see that at LYRA we're trying to resurrect an old farm, and then I drive down here to Tarkio and they're trying to resurrect an old college campus. So the Lord's richest blessings on both of our endeavors to to redeem and restore land and property that has been passed down to us.
Mhm.
Let's get into this specific program that you have been tasked to lead here. It hasn't started yet, right? It's still coming up in the fall. You'll be
That's the plan.
starting classes. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, when you think of a tech school, you think of things like we talked about with President Davis of welding, carpentry, electrical, HVAC, all those sorts of things, plumbing, all those programs that you already offer. Why business? Business, we usually think of something that is at a 4-year school or maybe a specific business school. Why would a tech school say, hey, we need to have a business program?
Well, like a lot of things, it's a kind of the intersection of a lot of fortuitous pieces. Not the least of which is that there is a Bible college out in Colorado that developed a business curriculum for their third year Bible students as one of the pathways they could choose in that school. And that curriculum has been developed over 14 years and is very robust, covers all aspects of business. It was developed and is taught by business people, so, and very practical. And our president, John Davis, became aware of that. At the same time, they became aware of him. So John had in mind wanting to have a business opportunity for tech students who, after getting some experience in the trade that they've learned here, might want to start their own business. But once he interacted with the school in Colorado, realized that there was a lot more potential to have you could say, standalone business program, which is what we've modified the program to be. So the Bible College was very generous in giving us the curriculum, and it's been downsized to fit a 2-semester, 180-hour class presentation. And ours will be the first time that this program has been used outside of that Bible college. So they're excited to see how it works out in the community, you could say.
Sure.
And it provides a really unique opportunity, not just for the tech students here, but for anybody who's interested in starting or growing or acquiring a business.
Yeah. Why would someone who wants to be a plumber or a carpenter? Now, maybe to a number of you who are watching, this answer is obvious, but I want you to address it. Why would someone who's a plumber or a carpenter or HVAC, or why would they need business?
Mm-hmm. Well, even before you have a standalone business, the principles of business are good for everybody. In fact, one of the unique things about our program is that in addition to you could say the hardcore business curriculum, we also provide quite a bit of our time, or quite a bit of our time is devoted to personal development. Things like communication, conflict resolution, negotiation, overcoming fears and obstacles that we all face and that we will face in business. So we really feel we have something for everybody, even if they're not starting or stepping into a business right now. And so, yeah, it has very broad application.
Yeah, and I would imagine that a lot of people do have that goal someday to run their own business, to okay, I'm gonna apprentice or work with another electrician for a number of years, but I would love at someday to be on my own and do it myself. And so to have business training in your back pocket when you go out there, in addition to the benefits that you just outlined to them immediately, would, I think, make them more successful in going forth and doing it on their own, especially in rural areas, right? I don't know this for sure. Maybe you know it. I would assume that most tradesmen are generally independent in smaller rural areas. They aren't necessarily a part of a bigger company, which is probably more often the case in a city. I'm assuming. I guess I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, that's true. And so we have designed the curriculum and the way that we intend to teach and present it in a way that it could apply to anybody, individual proprietor, or someone in a business already, or someone who wants to grow a business, or in our area, we believe there'll be a market for those who are interested in acquiring a business, because there are many older established businesses whose owners are retiring, but they don't have a place to go to sell their business to somebody that can make a go of it. And of course, they have a lot invested, both in heart and in capital. And rather than just to dissolve a business at retirement, we want to at least help the process of finding qualified owners to match them up with the retirees. So that's just another aspect of what we want to offer. We do expect that a lot of our students will be online, which means we offer the program to anybody anywhere. But another aspect of the program is the kind of a layered approach we take to the curriculum. So while we look at business broadly and all of the major factors that go into successful businesses, the curriculum, as it goes into those individual topics, will go deeper. And so we also see ourselves as a future resource for those that go through the program. They'll be able to go back and say, okay, I remember that course on accounting. I understood accounting better than I ever have before after going through it, but I realize now I need more. They can go back, and we've got more depth in the curriculum that they can access.
Okay.
So we really are trying. Anybody who's motivated, we want to provide good information and skills for them. Where they go with it, of course, it will be up to them, but we want to be a resource in the future too.
Yeah. And I assume on-campus students will also get access to all that into perpetuity, essentially, if they have the access to those online resources.
Right.
I was also thinking about, something we're big on at the Lutheran Institute of Regenerative Agriculture is local food and ag entrepreneurs. And to do that, you need a little bit of business acumen. And we've talked about this. I've talked with a lot of the small farmers that I talk to. I usually ask them the question, what about direct marketing? What about how do you handle that aspect of, because it's very different than a farmer who grows a commodity and takes it to the elevator. He's not necessarily interacting with customers on a direct basis. So that's a big transition for someone to make, to go from that style of agriculture where you have a market and you get it there, to where if you want to sell anything, you got to interact with customers. You got to have a good website. You got to all those things. And I know, talking to some of these guys who are doing it, that is the hardest part.
It is.
So I could see how this could be very, very valuable to someone looking to do that sort of thing.
Sure. We're actually in the classroom for the business program that we have branded Halas, Halas. We got that from the Greek word for salt. And the reason we're using that is we believe strongly that Jesus' calling in our lives and people in general is to be the salt of the earth. And that's the word he used in the Sermon on the Mount. So that's the name of our business program. In our classroom, we actually have on the wall canvases that lay out 9 areas of business. And we immediately use that as part of the curriculum as we help our students build their own business plans. So you mentioned farmers trying to direct market produce, and that's exactly why having good business knowledge and a network of helpful advisors is absolutely essential, because marketing is huge, financing is really big. How your operation gets your product to the customer is really big. And so simply having an idea is the beginning, but that won't get you across the finish line in business. There's a lot of things you need to have that idea be successful in the competitive marketplace. And so we take that very practical approach to our program.
Well, one of the farmers we we follow, and I actually interviewed him last year, Joel Salatin out in Virginia.
Mm.
He always is talking about, you got to push the pencil.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know what your inputs are and your outputs. You got to know how much, and he can rattle. I mean, he's been doing it for years and years. He can rattle off if you ask him. So how much inputs do you have in this egg, and how much are you selling it for? So what's your margin? Yeah, he can rattle all those things off. Because he's pushed the pencil, he's done the math, he's done the work.
Right.
And really, I think that is one of the things that I think for any business person, but particularly a small-time farmer, local food producer, that's probably the difference between making it and not making it, is being able to push the pencil and know, where can I make savings, where's my margin at, and how can I adjust, and what's the market. I mean, I can't just charge whatever I want, you know. So all those skills I think are going to be incredibly helpful.
Well, in that business model canvas I mentioned, we use as kind of our framework for building business plans. One of those 9 elements is cost structure. So you have to know that. But that's true in every business, not just for farmers. So everyone who's looking, wants to start a business, or maybe is in a business or a business division that they want to expand, that's one of the things that we help them understand. How do you capture those numbers, and why are they important? We also understand that 90% of business failures occur for one of about 5 reasons. I don't have to go into those details, but we specifically think through those 5 areas to make sure that we're addressing those with our students. We know that there are tremendous business opportunities, but we also know there's lots of challenges. So we try to take a very realistic approach in helping our students be prepared to avoid those pitfalls, no matter what the business is that they're in. And it doesn't matter what size you are. Those basics are true, no matter how many zeros are in your balance sheet.
They're universal principles. What kind of interest have you had in the program? You're looking to start in the fall, hoping to have on-campus students, also online students. I'll wait I was gonna pile on with another question. Well, we'll get you to answer that question first, and then I've got another one.
Sure. We, like businesses themselves, are kind of testing the market. We're finding out where the interest is. And we'd have a lot of interest in the area. Area development council that advocates for a business development area is a strong supporter. Area bankers that I've talked to immediately see the need and say, yeah, that would be really helpful for people to be successful in business. The other thing I didn't mention is that while we understand why 90% of businesses fail, I also didn't mention that about that percentage of businesses do fail. So it's not just understanding why businesses fail, it's also recognizing that starting a business especially is a really risky endeavor. So we're finding interest everywhere. One of the things we recognize will be, we believe, powerful, is the opportunity we provide to private or homeschool students who are graduating, who have an entrepreneurial interest, whether they're going to step into it now or 5 or 10 years from now. So we can help them in the same way as somebody who already has experience in business. We really hope to have a cross-section of ages and experience, because that really helps in the classroom. One of the things that we emphasize is engagement. So our students are engaged with each other and the instructors, and we want that to go on after the classwork is done. Successful businesses generally are not Lone Ranger operations. There are people who understand the need for good resources, good advisors, specialists to help in different ways. And so that's one of the things that we encourage. But back to your question, we're really looking very broadly, whoever is interested in business. But we also have an unapologetic biblical integration in our program. Now, there's no doctrine that we have or that we require. There's no faith statement. There is no, you don't have to belong to anything
to get into the program.
Yeah, we don't really even care as far as the education is concerned, what a person's faith background is, or if they may not even have any. What we know is that biblical principles underlie every good business principle. And so by integrating those, we help people see, okay, there's some really good, ancient, important wisdom here in how you treat people, in how you see money, and in how you see your own life, and what it can be doing to contribute to the world around you. And so that's part of what we share. And we know that will be new information for some people, and that's fine.
Yeah.
At one time, it was new information for me, so that's fine.
Yeah. What kind of, if people are interested in jumping in this program either on campus or online, I assume first of all they need to go to your website and take a look there.
Do it.
Yep.
Right.
And start investigating that way. What kind of commitment should they expect? If you're talking about people doing it online, maybe they already own a business, they're working full time. What kind of time commitment are the online classes going to be synchronized with the on-campus people? Okay, so it'll all be at the same time. Right. Give us that kind of nuts and bolts. What do these courses actually look like?
Well, the way we're introducing it, and we may have other options in the future, but the way we're introducing it is as evening classes, 3 evenings a week on a Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, for 3 hours from 5 to 8. And Central Time, since we can have people from anywhere in the country. And during at least 2 hours of that time will be the core curriculum. Another hour will be working on personal development, application of what they're learning. Because another distinctive we believe we have is not just presenting material and then a certificate at the end and saying thank you and goodbye. We are working with the students from day one to understand and help them understand their own business interests and what success will look like and what it will take. Those evening classes then would be set up on a 15-week semester, and the material will all be covered in 2 semesters. So each semester has about 90 hours of core curriculum. And then additional time for personal development, and each semester will be structured that same way.
Okay. And you mentioned a certificate. I think this is important for people to understand what they're going to come out of this program with. Especially in our days today, that seems it's a conversation for another time. Maybe it's sometimes overblown how much how much those pieces of paper are worth, but. What exactly will they come forth from this program? You talked about the piece of paper, so let's at least throw that out there so they know.
Sure. And I was being a little bit metaphorical, I think, because our program is not accredited yet. We are applying for accreditation, and we're fine with accreditation, but our emphasis is going to be the real piece of paper will be the student's business plan. It should be on more than one piece of paper.
Yes.
Because our goal is not just business education, it is successful businesses. And so the proof of our success will be in those businesses in the future. Another unique aspect is that we plan to, at the students' invitation, continue our relationship with them in the future to encourage and mentor their business journey. Because that is what we want, are successful businesses, not just people that have come through a program.
Yeah.
And so as we recruit instructors, there's a number of things that we emphasize that are different than typical classroom instruction. We have that, but we also care about the end result.
Yeah. And I think that's consonant with the whole rest of Tarkio Tech, where it's professional certificates. It's more about the skills
Right.
and what you've learned rather than say, a degree.
Right.
It's there to the professional certificate says it is saying that you have skills,
Mm-hmm.
that you've been given these skills, business skills or hands-on skills, welding, plumbing, whatever. And I think coming out of it with a business plan is, I mean, that's really whether someone puts it down in completely formal in a binder or not, you better have a plan. You better know how you're going to go about doing what you're doing, because there's a whole bunch of decisions that need to be made.
Right.
I again, I go back to agriculture because that's what I'm about. But you got to think about, am I going to have people come to my farm? Am I going to farmers markets? Am I selling online? Am I, and you have to make all those decisions,
Right.
and at some point you have to make them.
Sure. In fact, that's one of the other 9 areas is channels. How do we both communicate with customers, and how do we deliver products? So yes, you're exactly right. The in a business plan can be it can be simple, it can be fairly complex. But the key is not just that you filled in blanks and put in imaginary numbers. What makes a successful business plan is one that has been, I call it stress tested. What if this happens?
Yeah.
What if you lose a big percent of your market for some reason? What happens when a competitor comes in? There's lots of known challenges in business that we want to address as part of the development of that business plan. That's one of the reasons why engagement is so important to us for our students. They're going to be helping each other critique, question, challenge the business plans to look for those areas that hadn't been thought through carefully, or that might be a little weak, because life has enough surprises without adding any more. So we try to eliminate as many of those surprises as we can for the businesses.
Wonderful. Well, friends, this has been a wonderful opportunity to learn more about one of Tarkio Tech's new programs coming up this fall. I'd invite you to check out their website. I'll have the address below on our YouTube, where this video is posted, but I believe it's tarkiocollege.com. Is that right?
You've caught me where I don't remember Tarkio Colleges. I do know Halas's, and it's halasbusiness.com.
Halasbusiness.com. That gets you to the business program itself. Yes.
And on our website, there's a link to the college.
Link to that. Okay, so, great. So either way, you can get there, and I'll have links underneath the video on YouTube. It's been my great joy to be here back on campus. I enjoy coming down to Tarkio. Friends, a lot of exciting things happening with the Lutheran Institute of Regenerative Agriculture. As you hopefully heard, we're having our first publicly offered student program starting this fall. So pray for any students that are coming out here and serving. We'll give you more updates on that as time goes on. And this relationship with Tarkio Tech, I look forward to seeing it grow and blossom as the years go on, and hopefully we'll have a number of ag entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in any other field that come out to the farm, and then also come down here and get some business acumen, and others who come to do the trades too. And so we're really excited about this partnership. I think it's going to be an incredible service to what we're doing, to the church, to the world at large. So Lane, thank you very much for being with us today.
Appreciate the time.
And the Lord be with you in this new program. God's blessings.
Thanks.
Have a great day, friends. God's blessings.